This is Danny Gould with the Gould team, selling Silicon Valley, here with your market snapshot for the week of January 14th. You know, it's the middle of the month, and the numbers that I'm about to share with you do tell a story, but you know, the numbers are only half the story, right? And I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing from an agent perspective here in Santa Clara County, and it's very telling because right now the numbers are not really fully indicative, and they might be painting a little bit more of a negative picture than the market that we're experiencing here on a day in and day out basis. But look, almost everywhere in Santa Clara County right now, we're experiencing triple-digit increases in active inventory year over year, right? Meaning 200 to 300% year-over-year increases in inventory. Now, if you've been paying attention, you'll know that last year we had an abnormally low amount of inventory. So if anything, last year was the anomaly, right? But that being said, we can extrapolate the information that we're seeing right now, because it does give way to what we should expect in the spring and the summer markets, because everything that happens now ultimately is going to be reflected in the coming months' data, right? And so I actually wanted to share with you guys right now what I'm seeing on a day in and day out basis. But these are the active listings, right? This is the heat map that I'm seeing right now. And as you'll notice, 100 to 300% increases in most parts. And, you know, obviously you have your exceptions down there in Saratoga and Los Gatos, but almost everywhere else, we're seeing 2 to 3 to 4x the amount of houses on the market right now than we saw last year, right? So more inventory. Now, does that mean lower prices? Not necessarily. Now, let's look at pending listings, right? So, is that excess inventory being absorbed, or are buyers still Take a look. Pending listings right now on the 14th, or for this week, you'll see that in some areas pendings are up, which is great news, right? Because if there's more homes for sale, then and there's higher pendings, then yes, a lot of that inventory is going to be absorbed. Or if some of the excess inventory is being absorbed, that's good for home sellers, right? Because clearly, you know, the demand is maybe not keeping up with the supply, because that's going to be extraordinarily difficult, but is at least, you know, mimicking it, right, and in a positive direction. But overall in Santa Clara County, actually pendings are down, right? So it's still kind of the same story that we've been experiencing. But the good news is that delta is decreasing, right? And I believe that is very indicative of what we're actually experiencing in the market right now. Let me explain. I'm on the front lines every single day. I'm talking to agents in the office, at other offices, what they're experiencing, what they're seeing. And from a buyer's perspective, there are a lot of buyers out there right now, way more than we typically see in January. And you know, there are several open houses that I know got 20, 30, 40 guests per day these last couple of weekends, which is not normal. In January, we typically do see a lower amount of buyers and a lower amount of activity. Case in point, today I just received multiple offers on a listing that I put on last week, right? So, and that has not happened in a long time, right? So the multiple offer market that we once saw is coming back in spurts. And I really do believe that the storyline from here to God knows when is going to be feast or famine. You're either going to come on the market really strong, it's going to be well received, you're going to get 1 to 2 to 3 to however many offers within the first 7 to 14-ish days, or the home is going to sit on the market until the market reacts to it in a more traditional timeline, which is like 60, 90, 120 days. And so, feast or famine, right? And so, as long as these numbers stay around this, right? As long as we see these numbers, we're going to see that type of storyline play out, especially in the late winter, which we're in right now, early spring months, right? Which is traditionally the frothiest time of year, the most active time of year, the best time to put your home on the market. Now, I've talked about this before. I'm not really sure if that's going to be the case because right now, inventory is already very high for this time of year. I can only imagine what it's going to be like in the next, 60 to 90 days. And at that point, does demand dramatically increase? I don't think so, right? We're already seeing the kind of activity levels that I'm used to seeing in the later part of February and early March. And so if that's the case, right, it's almost like demand, buyer activity is 2 months ahead of schedule, right? And so if that's the case, then if the best time to sell beforehand was April, May, it's probably more like, late February, early March, to be honest, right? Before the market gets oversaturated with inventory and the buyers begin to weed themselves out one by one because the market's too crazy, yada, yada, yada. Interest rates are now too high, which is a concern, right? We don't know what's going to happen with interest rates. So again, I would say that there is so much uncertainty and there is a lot of volatility. And I really do feel like, that feast or famine, like I discussed earlier, is going to be the storyline. And it's going to be a roller coaster ride. Let's not get it twisted. The reality is that for the next 3 to 6 months, we could have a few of these up and down kind of like waves where a few weeks the market's really good for sellers and a few weeks the market's not really good for sellers. And so timing is really difficult, especially in this kind of environment. So, all you can do is really rely on the experts here, such as myself, to gauge the market on a weekly basis to really tell you when the best time to put your home on the market is in your particular neighborhood. Because again, it's not just macro numbers that we look at; it's also micro levels as well. Like, is there a home on the market that is the exact same square footage as yours? If there is, and you have direct competition like that, do you want to be going on the market at the same time as them? Maybe it's a great time macro-wise to put your home on the market, but is it a good time micro-wise, right? Are two of the same floor plan in your community on the market right now? If so, I don't know if going on the market is necessarily the best idea for you, right? But only your agent, only your expert can really give you that advice, right? So that's what I got for you guys. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below or shoot me an email, shoot me a text, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. You know who it is, guys. It's Danny Gould with the Gould team, selling Silicon Valley with your Silicon Valley Snapshot. Catch you guys in the next video.